Okay, Jesse. I just wanted to show you some things in your scene. I just turned off the two lights that you had provided me in your shadow issue scene, and it just have the self-illuminated object in here. And in your render setup, you've got it set to skylight illumination from IBL, and the final gather is enabled. So when I render it without lights on, but with this self-illuminated, this final gather actually kind of like bounces light off this self-illuminated piece onto the ground in here. So that's the first issue, is you're kind of illuminating it from this like geometry. Uh, I think I can go into let's see, is it object properties? So I don't want it to receive illumination from final gather, invisible to pass through, invisible to final gather. So if I go ahead and say OK and render it now, you'll notice that this is no longer contributing to the thing, because I think you just wanted to use it as a background piece. So that disables that. So if I go ahead and enable your lights again, so now you're down to having just your lights sort of affect that. Now, to get the shadows, I don't recommend shadow maps for the light shadow type. So if we were to change this to ray trace shadows, and I'm going to turn on shadows for this one. So if I render this now, you should see that light's now casting a shadow. See, there it is. So that the shadow that you wanted to come from that teacup now is being properly rendered, because we changed your light to a ray trace shadow. Now I know we talked about maybe doing a sunlight system or something like that. Another way to approach that would be to use a standard light. Actually, you probably could use a photometric light. We'll do a target light. And I'll just go ahead and make this. So depending on the angle that you want your light, so maybe the sun is kind of hitting it at this kind of angle to cast that shadow. And we'll just turn that one off right now. Let's see what's that going to do. It's not going to do much because I don't have it turned up, maybe? Okay, let's go ahead and just dial up the intensity here. Because it's so far away, it's decaying, the light's decaying before it even gets there, so we just need to boost it up a little bit. Turn on ray trace shadows. So we're getting the shadows kind of cast from the light source. You can see it's getting your whole terrain piece. This probably could be a little higher in the sky. And I can control it. Start taking it down a little bit. There we go. Seems to be pretty decent. So that's why you can kind of get this large coverage that you're kind of going for with a light. You just need to make it very intense because of you want to treat it like a sunlight. And now I have that sunlight actually being the shadow source, the main light source. So you can see how now it's from that sun I'm casting it down from way up above into that area. And like I said, you can continue to dial it down if you don't like how strong the light is. Maybe you want to make it a little dimmer or something. You can do that as well. You can even tint the light if you want to have it be kind of a warm light. That's entirely up to you. Now here's another tip for you. With these other light sources, if you want to do like a 3-point lighting source, have your main key light from the sun casting shadows. You can also have your additional lights. Let's say that I just want to light up this character right in here. I don't want to affect anything else in the scene. You can click on a light and click on this exclude button within the light properties, and you can tell it exactly what parts to affect. So if I want to affect everything about Lurf, I can kick it over there and tell it to just include just affecting these. So when I turn this on and tell it to cast shadows, I'll make it just really intense just to make it really obvious. So it looks like it's affecting the ground, but when I render this, you'll notice the ground is not being affected. It's because it's not included in those objects that I'm having that light effect. It's only affecting all the pieces for the character. So this is kind of a nice little trick option to be able to just affect certain parts in the scene but not cast light into areas that you don't want it. And obviously I probably would never want it to be quite like that, but I might decide that I want to backlight it or something like that. So I might hit it with some light and continue to dial this down. So now I'm kind of getting that rim lighting. It's still a little strong. So get it down to be about where we need it.